Zion. Zion, do you remember when you first heard of Zach Buhler?
I actually do. It was a tournament in Tennessee, and he was playing with a team called the Veterans, a bunch of older people. He was a pool player, and I was losing maybe by like four, and then someone told, I think my teammate told me that Zach was on the team, and he was like, "Oh, Zach's a Paralympian." And then I proceeded to score like I think three goals like in a row, and then after the game, Zach came up to me and said, "Hey, I don't know who you are," and then him and his wife were talking. And he said, "You almost had me there." He said, "My team kept letting it go." I was like, "Please, let's stop that." So that was the first time I heard of him and met him. It was pretty cool.
Do you remember that, Zach?
I do, yeah. I think that was the first time I played Zion. Yeah, I knew him a little bit just through like kind of knowing Sean and stuff. I've known Sean since I kind of started in the game, but yeah, it was the kind of the first time, and I was like, man, this kid could be decent if he maybe puts in a little effort. So
Would you guys say you found Goalball or did Goalball find you?
You can go for a sec.
oh yeah, definitely. I think Goalball found me for sure. It's kind of a wild story of how I found it, like being so close to Turnstone and just being basically in the backyard of my hometown, being here in Fort Wayne. Just had the opportunity to come train with the USA team, like right before they were leaving for Rio and stuff. So, and then just kind of fell in love with it from there. So yeah, Goalball definitely found me for sure.
Zion?
I'd have to agree. I think it was offered like as a sport at my school when I was younger, like I think maybe 13, and like I tried to play basketball, wasn't very good at that. So I heard a goal ball and I was like, man, I'm gonna try this. So I think it definitely found me.
Obviously, we're here at a very important training camp now that we're 6 months out from the Paris Paralympic Games. Talk about the importance of a camp like this, 6 months out from the games.
I haven't been a part of a super big training camp before, like with the Paralympics at hand, but I was here for Santiago and we tried to take that very serious. I think getting everybody prepared and ready and knowing what our goal is and that we have to put maximum effort in to have a good performance is what makes it so much like have so much weight on it, make it so important.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's definitely it's training. Everything's the hype about everything's definitely ramped up. And it just feels different. It feels like we're getting ready for what we've been preparing for since the end of Tokyo, basically. Even though Tokyo feels like it was yesterday, which is wild, and this quad has just been so crazy with the games getting pushed back in Tokyo, and then just basically pushing from end of 2020 till the end of Paris is it's a long push, kind of with that no break in between, that gap year that we usually get, but with COVID not having that, it definitely just feels like a like kind of like the finish line is so close, but we still have a lot of work to do before that point. So
Zion, you're Paralympic hopeful, but Paralympic Games. What's your favorite Paralympic memory?
Man, I think one of the first times I watched any film from any Paralympic was from Tokyo, of course, and it was Callahan's comeback. I think it was against was it Ukraine?
yep.
He had like a four-goal comeback, like scored first goal of overtime. It was crazy. Like that was like the peak of when I was like looking into like further my knowledge of goalball, because at that point I was still just playing domestically, just going to tournaments, showing up, not really understanding like the highest level of it. So seeing that was incredible. That's the first like and best Paralympic memory I have.
Zach, you've been to a game. What's your favorite memory?
Oh man, just the atmosphere of it all, I think is just so like it just takes you back every single time, like that, and it's just almost like you're in awestruck just how awesome like the village is and just how it feels like a complete dream the whole time. But my favorite probably memory was just really just being like on the court with all the guys, like our very first practice, just finally getting used to the jet lag that we had, finally kind of getting into a rhythm, getting into a routine, like getting our recovery up, doing all that, and then just finally hopping on the court and all this like kind of pent up energy, and then going into the first game, just all this excitement for what we've been, working so hard for up until that very moment finally hit. And of course, I got to try to block a penalty on the very first play of the game in the very first like moments of the Paralympics. So that was pretty wild to be kind of the first one to be on the court and trying to block a ball in a moment that I wasn't exactly expecting to be in, but it was probably one of my favorite moments for sure.
Zach, what would you tell someone like Zion about how a Paralympic year differs from a non-Paralympic year and the experience of the games themselves?
For sure, yeah. I would definitely say like it's a different feeling. It's more intense. But at the same time, like you're wanting to make everyone around you better because you don't know who's going to make the team. You don't know who's going to be over there, but getting the chance to represent your country, whether that's you know at the games or whether that's here helping train, like everyone, it's more than just the six athletes and the coaches that are going to the games. It's everybody who plays a big role, preparing everyone, just getting resources together, all that stuff, and just the training intensity. You can just kind of tell, especially when we when we start getting closer to the games. This is our first training camp, so we're all kind of just coming here, kind of trying to get the rust off, trying to get connected and all that. But once we start getting really a lot closer to the games and stuff, you're going to see a lot more focus, a lot more intensity, a lot more just kind of demand of perfection because we won a medal.
Why should people tune in to watch Goalball, Paris game?
It's the greatest sport you've never heard of. It's You wouldn't think that a sport you have to be completely quiet watching would be so intense and so like just exciting to watch, but it's definitely one of the most exciting sports I've been a part of and watched. Like every play, there's something happening. Like the throws they're so fast or they're so like impressive, especially if you understand like how much the ball weighs and all these things. Like it's crazy to watch. It's so impressive.
Yeah, I would definitely basically say the same thing. Like it's a lot harder at times than it looks, and like sometimes some of the people you'll watch just make it look so easy, and just the amount of training and the amount of like work we have to put in, just watching like any goal ball game, like just makes my heart race every time. Like even just watching it from afar, watching it in the stands, or just even watching it from the bench, it just makes my like it gets my blood going, it gets my heart racing, and
Doesn't matter who's playing.
right, exactly. It doesn't matter who it is, and so it is the coolest sport that I know of, and like one that a lot of people haven't heard of, but it's once you kind of see it and understand it and really get to know it, like I found few people that don't fall in love with it.